Okay, well, thanks for meeting with me.
Very good. Very good. We've always worked around two sizes fit all. So we have the kind of the low end, which is from 180 up to 250 centimeters, and then 250 to 290. And within those brackets, we cover everything. So you've got obviously a lot of our market is kind of VW. So there's a lot in the kind of T5, T6, kind of area on that lower end. And then we go to crafters and whatnot at the upper end. And that's really simplified it for people. I think as long as the height is obviously one issue. The other issue is how do people fit them, and that's kind of trying to make every product that we do as universal as possible to fit, and then fit within those two size ranges just matches everything, and that's the kind of basic premise we've always worked on. So there's two ways about it. So the consumer, the customer can come to us and tell us the height of their van. We can tell them which awning will fit. And as I say, it's very simple because it falls within two brackets. Or if people go on our website, we've actually got vans on the website, so you can shop by van essentially. So
Okay.
if, for example, if you've got a T25 or whatever, you go on our website, look for T25, it'll show you which awnings will fit. Anybody a little bit wily will kind of look at our website a little bit deeper and say, actually, for most vans, it's the same awnings because actually that's what I was saying. It's basically just purely on height. So it's there's not too much diversification between, whether it's a Transit or a VW or a Sprinter or whatever. That the majority fit them, but
You're basically trying to be as universal as possible to basically be able to fit most vehicles.
yeah. So at the moment, we've seen a real swing towards smaller. I would say over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a lot of. So in the past, I think we actually, as designers, kind of wanted to create bigger and bigger camper van awnings and give people more and more space. And we've always done really well at that end. Then when we started launching things like the Cubo and particularly the Uno, which is our smallest camper van awning, we saw a real kind of demand for that. And again, talking to people that we talk to and people that and all of our customers that engage with, I think it's much more that people are just going away for short breaks, and it's people
Right.
or traveling, sort of going somewhere, stopping overnight, and then moving on. And actually, what people are wanting is just somewhere to kind of put some kit out on an evening, or to kind of sit out in the morning, and or if they're on a campsite to kind of mark a pitch. And I think those kind of shorter breaks have become much more popular, probably more so since COVID as well, that people just want kind of quick getaways. That's a really good question. We've changed a lot, and I think actually, yeah, you're absolutely right. Consumer demand has kind of really driven that. We go to a lot of shows and events. So we spend a lot of time outdoors ourselves and talking to people that have either bought our products or have are looking to buy our products. And I would say one of the biggest things around kind of adaptability of products. People expect to buy something that they can kind of make use of no matter where they are or what they're doing with it. And I think a lot of our initial products were probably much more basic than they are now. So if you take something like the Cocoon, which is our kind of leading large camper van awning, back in the day, it was a relatively simple camper van awning that sat alongside the van, sat alongside the vehicle, and that was kind of it. There wasn't much more to it. Since that day, we've created add-on pods for it, so people can extend it further if they want to. We've made it so the bedrooms can come in or stay out. We've made blackout bedrooms as well. We've got extra beams in there if people want to use it in kind of more stormier weather, for example. We've put a kitchen pod on the side of it so people can use that for either cooking and or use a toilet pod. The extension on the front of it is a new addition as well. And we've also supplied extra doors. So if people put an extension on the front of the awning to make it bigger, they can then put an extra door on the front of that and have a separate compartment at the front. And one of the main uses for that is people who cycle. So people who are out biking during the day have then got
Right, right.
a compartment for their bikes. Obviously, it's then
Hmm.
safe because they're inside the awning, and they can still use the awning without having to take up room for them. So, and I think that's the I mean, we've always known this, but it's really sort of come to light over recent years. We're a means to an end. People are buying awnings because they want to go and do something else. So it's either people that are climbers, surfers, cyclists, whatever, and we're trying to create that space that can go and do what they want. So I think that adaptability point of it. And then the other really big thing and a massive thing for us, and I'd be really remiss for not saying it, is sustainability. That the fact that when we first started, the industry as a whole was not talking about sustainability. We were not talking about renewable products or recycled materials or offsetting carbon. Definitely none of that was ever part of the conversation. Now, and I've been in the industry for longer than OLPRO's existed, and going back, the sort of visions of camping that most people had was that last day at Glastonbury or at Leeds Festival, where there was just this field of strewn tents. And one of the things that we started to do really, really early on, which I'm glad that we did, was focus on how we could deal with that side of the industry. And we became the first camping company to be B Corp accredited. So we obviously went through that accreditation to say we were following sustainable methods within the business and within product development. And other people have thankfully followed suit. And I think that now, certainly now, we get customers come to us because of that accreditation, because we do what we do. We make products from recycled materials, and we offset our carbon through tree planting. We've got a recycled project where we sell used tents and campervan awnings as well. So we sort of dealt with all that, and I would say that 14 years ago that wouldn't have been a thing, whereas now it's very much part of what we do. I'll answer the second bit first, actually. Oddly, probably not. It's a strange one in that I think if you ask anybody within OLPRO, certainly anybody who's talking to customers on a daily basis, we spend a lot of time talking about inflatable products. When you look at sales, we're still selling more pole products than we are inflatable. And a lot of that is down to price. A lot of that is down to the fact that pole product is generally a lot cheaper. But also as well, I think there's a lot more, coming back to what I said before about weekend campers. I think there are a lot of people that are just buying product that just want to go away quickly at a weekend, and whole product will perfectly do the job for that. So I don't think there's necessarily a need for people to always invest in an inflatable. If I'm being honest, the future might be a combination of the both of them. And I think that's what we're starting to look at more and more, where you've got, I think there are certain elements of awnings which are probably over-engineered in a sense of, there are inflatable parts. We don't necessarily have to be inflatable, or there are things which take up more time being inflatable than had they just been a fiberglass pole. So I think there's probably answers around that. And again, I think people have looked at this in the past, but I don't think anybody's kind of got to a satisfactory point of where the customer doesn't have to choose between inflatable or poles. They've just got a good awning that does what they need to do.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
No, pleasure. If I can be of help with anything in the future, just give us a shout.